Does the long-term prospects of your child's engagement in school feel uncertain? You're left wondering, will mainstream ever work? Will they want to re-engage with learning? Will their needs ever be truly understood? Perhaps they're on the verge of exclusion or be on the brink of being unable to access education at all. And you've been told that an alternative provision is the best way to make sure your child doesn't miss out on an education. But deep down, you're wondering, how is this really going to help? So in this video, I'll look out for what the signs are of an unsuitable alternative provision. I'll discuss why they are often presented as the only option, even when they're not the right fit. And then look at how we as parents can cut through the confusion and stay confident to advocate for our children's needs. My name is Brenda and I'm a parent mentor and a fellow parent. I support parents raising children with individual needs and differences to stay empowered whilst they navigate through procedural challenges. And when advocating for my son who is living with autism and ADHD during his time in education, the option of an alternative provision was presented. And at that point in our journey, I truly felt stuck between a rock and a hard place. I distinctly remember being caught off guard by these discussions as they came unexpectedly and with little preparation. So what exactly is an alternative provision and how is it different from a placement? A provision refers to the type of educational or therapeutic support offered, while a placement is the specific setting where the support takes place. And I've highlighted the pros and cons in this video here. And I highly recommend watching this video because I describe the different types of alternative provisions in more detail. But it's important to identify that not all experiences are positive for a child to thrive, especially if the placement is poorly matched to their needs, or it's used as a quick fix rather than a well-planned intervention, or the provision lacks resources, oversight or proper special educational needs support. And this is inconvenient because despite as a parent being that incredible, proactive, committed and vocal advocate, doing everything within our power for our child's prospects, we may still find ourselves being presented these provisions as the only option, despite feeling that it may be an unsuitable educational placement. So when the option of a provision was presented to me, it was very clear what the concerns were. So here are signs that the settings might not support your child's development or well-being. These were where it doesn't match the needs outlined in an EHCP, or that it's clear that the staff lack the thorough understanding of neurodiversity, and that there is the offer of generic group support instead of specific one-to-one support or therapeutic input, or that the physical environment or the staffing doesn't support sensory or safety needs, or the likelihood of staff saying things like, "I'm not the parent," where communication may become dismissive of emotional or rational support. And once this awareness becomes apparent from experience, it can feel like being trapped to make a decision that doesn't fit a child's development, which left me asking, why would a school and or a local authority push for an interim provision, even when it clearly doesn't align with a child's individual needs or with a parent's wish to place them there? So why are alternative provisions so often presented as the only option? Based on the experiences of many of the parents that I've worked with, here are the patterns that keep showing up. And the first one is the lack of co-production and genuine parental involvement. This is where parents often feel excluded from key decisions, with little opportunity to collaborate meaningfully in the process of securing the right school placement. The second one is dismissal of parental expertise and advocacy. This is where parents' insights and lived experiences or their efforts to advocate are often undermined or ignored. And the third one is delays, poor communication and lack of transparency. This is where the process is marked by unclear communication, significant delays and a lack of openness about available options and next steps, leaving us as parents feeling ill-informed and powerless. And the fourth one is misalignment and the lack of detail in the EHCP. If the child's education, health and care plan fail to accurately reflect their needs, particularly around sensory support, it will lead to inappropriate placement options being suggested. And the fifth one is systematic biases and misrepresentation of needs. Some of us parents may experience professionals misrepresenting our child's needs or sense a bias towards recommending out of borough or specialist schools. This possibly could be due to the funding or logistic concerns. Another reason could be that the provision offered prioritised the process needs over the child's best interests. This is where decisions are sometimes driven by what the process could offer rather than what the child actually needed, leading to unsuitable placements being proposed. And another reason is where there's a breakdown of trust and a lack of accountability. Repeated failures in the process lead to a deep corrosion of trust in professionals and the system as a whole, leaving little resource for holding decision makers accountable. So when all these reasons become apparent and the suggestion of alternative placement occurs, well, need I say more? Now, not all alternative provisions are like this. And as I've mentioned in this video, you may choose this option as a positive route. However, it's important to recognise how emotionally and strategically worn down we may be feeling before any decisions about what to do or what to agree with for your child moving forward. So what is the most effective way to cut through the confusion and misdirection? Well, the sooner you challenge the narrative, the more control we keep in shaping our child's journey. By asserting our influence early, we gain the agency to take action before the situation spirals, which brings out the strong, independent advocate that exists in all of us from the very beginning. Whilst hindsight is a powerful thing, challenging the projected narrative sooner, even if things have already progressed further than perhaps you'd like, it's not always too late to reapproach the situation from a place of empowerment. And remember that you do not have to do this alone. So if working with a parent mentor on a one-to-one basis would feel like something that would work for you, why not contact me? My details are in the description box below. Because as a parent, it helps to recognise when an alternative provision is being presented as a solution, not because it's right for your child, but because the child's needs are not being met by the process that we're engaging in to support them. And it's essential to stay empowered, informed and supported to avoid agreeing to a placement that doesn't serve your child's best interest. So if you've liked this video, why not take a look at this video where I talk about the pros and cons of alternative provisions. Alternatively, for now, keep doing what you're doing. Stay focused, stay empowered and keep creating progress. Thank you for listening.